She don't even know my name, but I think she likes me just the same. Sussududio. If she called me, I'd be there. I would come running to her anywhere. She is all that I need, all of my life. But I feel so good if I just say the word. Come on, Sussududio. Everybody just say the word. Sussududio. Well, I know that I'm too young. My love, you know, is just begun. Sussududio. Oh, give me a chance, give me a sign. You know you show me anytime. Sussududio. Listen to me now. I got to have her now. I got to get closer, but I don't know how. She makes me nervous, it makes me scared, but I feel so good if I just say the word. Come on, Sussududio. Everybody just say the word. There's a girl that's been on my mind. Sussududio. Oh, she don't even know my name. Sussududio. Wait a minute. If she called me, I'd be there. I would come running to her anywhere. She is all that I need, all of my life. But I feel so good if I just say the word. Sussududio. Everybody just say the word. Just say the word. Come on, say the word. Just say the word. Just say the word. Well, everybody just say the word. Everybody say the word. Just say the word. Well, everybody just say the word. Sussududio. One last chance to sing it, say the word. Sussududio. Merci beaucoup.
I have this on, so that means this is doing better. Still slightly sore, but it's okay. The only thing that's suffering at this point is the chops from not playing for days. I try to play every day, and this has been about 4 days now, or 5 days of not playing, and I can feel it. And of course, I picked a song that really requires my playing, and so I'll do the best I can today. But when in 1984, when we recorded the No Jacket Required album at Townhouse Studios in London, it was with Hugh Padgham. I don't know if he co-produced it with Phil. I know he engineered it. May have been co-producing with Phil. I don't remember exactly. It was an interesting experience. Phil called me and asked me if I could come over and do the album, and I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to. So I flew to London and was staying in Kensington High Street at the Royal Garden Hotel. And on the first morning going to the studio, I've got my bass in a gig bag, and I go get in the elevator and go down a floor or two, and the door opens, and another guy gets in the elevator with a gig bag. And we looked at each other and said, well, hi, what are you doing here? I think he said to me, what are you up to? And I said, well, I'm here working on a record with Phil Collins. And I said, how about you? He goes, me too. And I said, hi, my name's Lee Sklar. And he goes, hi, I'm Daryl Sturmer. And we start talking, and I said, so where are you from? Where are you coming in from? He goes, from Milwaukee. I go, oh, I was born in Milwaukee. He and I boom, and we just connected. So, I mean, we were like best buds by the time that elevator hit the ground floor. And every day we would walk from there over to Shepherd's Bush, where the studio was. So we're recording, and everything's going great. And then there's one track that we did on the record, and Phil had, believe it was David Frank, come in and program a whole bunch of synth parts for it. So it was a machine track. And when it was all said and done, I kind of looked at Phil and I said, man, we really got ourselves painted into a corner. What are we going to do with this song live? Because it was all this machine stuff. And it turns out that was Sussududio. And Sussududio, I think, is meaningless. I think Phil, when he was doing a lot of his tracking, he would come up with he would just off the top of his head throw lyrics out and stuff. And some of the stuff stuck. And I think he probably intended to replace Sussududio with something else, but that was good for tracking, and never found anything else that worked as well in it. So we stayed with Sussududio. And you can read into what that means however you want, but I don't think it means really anything. It's just Sussududio. When we started gigging the thing, I ended up using, I think, an envelope filter on the bass to kind of create the sound of that. And we did that for a period of time. And eventually, though, the beauty of touring is things morph and change, as they should, because you don't want to just be doing the same thing every day for year in, year out. So things evolved. And eventually we ended up doing I think it was triggered by Brad Cole on keyboards. Now, going back a little bit, one of the things that we and Phil really always prided ourselves in is it's a live band. Phil even had that in some of the programs. It said everything you're hearing is pretty much live off this stage, where there's so many acts that are out there playing the track. They've got everything. You see 3 guys on stage and you're hearing 50 instruments. You kind of go, wow, this is really ridiculous. But what we ended up doing, and in 99.5% of the show is live. But what we ended up doing with Sussududio was through the keyboard, we had a track of just the filter bass. So it was just, if you just soloed, it would just be going pow, 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 pow. And I play the tonal side of it. I double that with tonal bass. And then when it's all mixed together, it sounds very similar to the original track on. It's not exactly the same, but it's more fun to play it live. It's more, even though there is some track running, it's much more organic live like this. So I figured today I'll do that, and I figure this is the perfect song to do after you haven't played for days and your chops are really feeling like crap. You do the song that's the biggest pain in the ass in the show to play. But so I'm going to get on with that, and then we will visit after the track is over. So here we go. This is Sussududio. People will all clap. I always did a gliss, but it's easier standing. Sorry, that's a little bit sloppy and stuff. I haven't played that since the tour, and my hand being gone, it's a handful. It's not so bad once you've been doing this every night and you jump into it, and when you're standing up and you're in the middle of a big fat mix and stuff on this. But that little gliss I would do every night. I did that for my bass tech. I would give him a little, play the lick and then just grab my finger and do the gliss up. But when you're standing wearing a strap, it's real easy. Sitting here, the bass is just kind of rolling off my lap. So the cheese factor never ends. So that's it. We're nearing the end of things here, and then we'll be on to new business. But more than anything, I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I'm so enjoying just hanging out. I love the message. I was so thrilled the other day when I did the video about the family in Dublin, and they were writing back on it. It was just an absolute, just got me here, that. And there's been a number of incidents like that. That was one of the most special ones, but there's been a few like this over the years. And it's the stuff I cherish the most, is these relationships that have evolved with people. So I'll tell another story maybe tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But as of today, I just want everybody to take care. We just had a long phone conference with our band, the immediate family, with management, because we've got so many, oh God, more messages coming in. We have different things going on. We've got a Japanese release coming up for our album. And then we're going to have our American release. The record turned out incredibly good. I'm so proud of this. And it's a drag that we've hit a time where, like for us and for so many people, everybody's ready to get going, and we're all just, it's like a wind-up toy that ends up in the corner of the room, and it's just kind of banging into the corner and can't get out. This is where we are. It was crazy for me. I worked on the movie Groundhog Day, and little did I think I would actually be living Groundhog Day. But we all are at this point. So I took my dogs for a nice walk this morning, fed them, doing this, having my meetings, and just did an interview up in Montreal with a writer up there. And now I'm going to head back out and finishing deadheading my azaleas. The flowers are spent and the bushes look better if you spend the time and clean them up. So this is the world I live in, and then I will climb inside of them and trim out deadwood. So you take good care. Again, my thoughts are with everybody who's taking care of this world and trying to keep us afloat at this point. I turn on the news and it is so shocking and devastating, and so many people are going now. Brian Dennehy, to have lost Brian Dennehy, and there's a bunch of actors who I really, really have always admired. Alan Garfield, to see them passing is really shocking. Musicians going that I've known. So be as safe as you possibly can. You know, don't do anything unnecessary if you can help it. And hopefully, at some point, we will all be able to come back out into the sunlight again. But for right now, let's just all take care of ourselves, and I will see you all tomorrow. It's great to have my bass back in my hands. I'm going to spend some time this evening playing just to get my chops back up, because they're feeling more like pork chops than musical chops right now. And since I don't eat meat, that's really devastating. So you take good care. Love you all, and I will see you tomorrow.